Hey ladies, I'm your host Rebecca, and my goal is to lead women towards faith and confidence through the bumpy roads of life. Welcome to the She Bold podcast. Hey ladies, and welcome back to the She Bold podcast. Welcome back to another episode, and also happy holidays. I know that we're already almost halfway in December, and the end of 2022 is right here, and this is going to be the episode before the last one because the last one for this year is going to be, I think it's going to be on the 26th of December. But oh well, I'm grateful for 2022 and I'm just excited for 2023. So, anyways, let's get to it. Episode number 6, as you can tell by the title, is Don't Quit. Do not quit. Okay. When I hear those words is persevere. And perseverance is such a powerful thing, yet we often put it at the end of our reaction list. And what I mean by reaction list is when we encounter a problem or we have an unanswered prayer, we tend to pray and ask God for deliverance or answers. But then when He doesn't act right away, we start complaining. We start doubting His words. We start questioning so many things instead of persevering in faith. James 1, verse 12 says, God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love Him. You may have been praying for that thing for days, months, years, whatever the amount of time you've been praying. If you know that what you're asking God is His will, then you need to be patient. There's no other way around it. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's things that God is so quick to answer, or He's so quick to give you, or He's so quick to give someone else, but not to you. But you need to understand that God's timing is always perfect and His timing is His. There's nothing you can do that can change His timing. You know what I mean? And while you're being patient, don't just sit there and let time pass. Pray, fast, read your word. Because when you wait for something and you don't do nothing about it, well, God is like, this waiting season, this waiting time is here for you to grow, for you to build something you haven't built before. So it's a teamwork. God is doing His part, but you're doing your part too. And one important thing also is make your prayers intentional, in a sense that start by asking God if what you're asking Him is His desire and not yours. Or if what you're going through is a test from Him or an attack from the enemy, because it might be confusing, but sometimes we go through things that looks exactly like an attack, but God uses that situation for His own good. It's like Genesis 50, verse 20 says, You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save the lives of many people. So if you read it back in that sense, it's when you say you intended to harm me, you're talking to the enemy. The enemy is always, his intention always going to be to destroy you, to lie to you, to kill you, to do everything against God's will. But God will always intend His will, His promises for good all the time. And I remember for me, the first time God had spoken to me through that verse, because every single season that I go through, or every battle, I would say, God always chooses a specific verse to represent my situation. And that's something that I love about Him also, because it always changes, right? It never stays the same. But anyways, I remember for me, the first time God has spoken to me through that verse was during my depression, because I kept asking Him, why me? When is it gonna stop? But He made me realize that this storm that I went through was an open door to reach other people, because my depression is what gave birth to Shebold. And here I am years later still using that platform to share His words, to other women. So, ladies, things may seem confusing to you right now. You may be in a lot of doubt but or confusion, but trust in him, okay? Don't focus on your confusion. Don't focus on your doubt. Just trust in him. That promise he made you will happen. But you need to believe in that and not on the facts or on what people around you say. Because you will find that, especially after you hear promises from God, the enemy will start to mix everything up and change the sides. And people will even try to brainwash you into thinking that it isn't possible. And don't get me wrong, you got people who do it with bad intentions, but other people do it because they care for you, because they love you. So they think that the big vision of yours is too hard to reach and they don't want you to like get hurt in the process or anything like that. Or sometimes they come from their own experience and they're like, I tried and it didn't work for me. But you have to understand that it's not because it didn't work for them that it's not going to work for you. God has a will and a path for every single person, and it's never going to be the same. But you got to know where you stand, because when you don't know where you stand, that's when your foundation crumbles and you start to believe what they say. You know that quote that says you got to walk by faith and not by sight? Well, that's it. When you're trying to do the math, things don't make sense. They don't add up and they don't need to make sense to you, because that's how God is going to blow your mind by still making it happen. You got to understand that yes, we serve the same God, and the same God back then is the same God right now. However, that doesn't mean he needs to keep doing the same exact thing in order to challenge your faith and make you see how powerful and unique he is. He will act in a way that you have never seen before, so that when it happens, you will truly believe that only him could have made it happen. So, girls, don't give up. Every battle comes to an end. Everything that goes up comes back down. Everything always change. Every promises of God will happen. He is not a man, okay? So when he makes a promise, he doesn't lie. He doesn't forget. He doesn't ignore it. When he speaks it, he will make it happen. He is God. He doesn't lie. Okay? Stop believing that, oh, well, he said it once and things just doesn't happen. I've been waiting for 5 years or whatever. Well, you think he forgot what he told you? Like, he's God, okay? So what he says he will do, he will do it. So, ladies, I just pray that you continue to walk, you continue to persevere, you continue to pray, you continue to fight, you continue to rebuke the enemy and any lies that the enemy is trying to make you believe. Because at the end of the day, it's when you're getting all caught up in his lies, that's when you lose sight of what God is truly trying to do with you and your current season. Because even if you're waiting for something, that season of waiting is so important as much as the season of when you will receive everything that you waited for. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful day, a wonderful holidays, and I will speak to you on the next episode. Stay blessed.